Hi, I'm Jane Brecken. I'm being joined by Dr. Rosie Kuhn today. We are continuing our discussion about two coaching workshops we are offering at Gull Lake this summer, August 10th and 11th. Who's running my business? August 13th and 14th is Deep Recovery. Rosie, welcome. We're going to talk a little bit about both workshops today. And my first question is, what kinds of exercises can we as the participants expect to take part in as that are going to begin to sort of awareness or assist us in having that which we want, whether it's a better work life or deeper recovery?
It's a great question. The piece that you mentioned in terms of coaching workshops, it's we kind of call it that a little bit because my orientation is now from a coaching perspective as opposed to from a therapeutic perspective. That coaching perspective really empowers each participant to stand in their truth, in their own desires and wants, and their ability to empower themselves to make that happen. So there's going to be a lot of engagement for the participants in not only thinking and potentially thinking differently, but really engaged all of their whole being in this process. So one of the ways that I do that and is really, really fun for people is to, in a sense, be actively walking from one, let's say, one polarity of the room to the other. So in a sense, we'll say in this moment, fear-based, I can't do it. So that's on this side of the room, and I can do it and I can have it all on this side of the room. So asking participants, so from here to here in terms of the gradient, where would you like to be on this scale of where would you like to be? Fear-based, can't do it, totally engaged, and I'm doing it. And so the participants will find themselves somewhere along that continuum, and perhaps all of them will be over here. Yes, I want to do it, and yes, I want to have it. Then we ask another question. So where are you now on this continuum of fear-based, can't do it, to full, I'm doing it? Where are you on the continuum now? And so even that tiny little, what seems like, oh, that's a no-brainer, we find people scattered along this line, invisible space in between, and everyone gets stopped or stuck someplace on that continuum. So it's not a matter of I have trust or I have respect or I have the capabilities or I have the confidence. It's not about that. It's a degree to which I have it. Okay, it's the degree to which I have what I need to take the next step. And quite often, and especially in the book Self-Empowerment 101, I talk about having enough to take the next step. So we'll be discussing what is that enoughness that has us move from here on the scale to here or on the continuum or to here. What is that inside of us? And so each one of us will have a different sense of what that is. That's enough to take me to the next incremental step along the way to get what I really want. Whether that's full recovery and reclaiming, to me, it's like reclaiming really gets like, hey, I get to have all of me back. And recovered is, okay, I'm fully recovered. I'm fully present. I'm fully alive. I'm fully engaged in my life. I'm fully responsible and accountable for my presence on the planet, my gifts, my contributions in the world. Where we think of recovery as, well, I'm recovering from a substance abuse, or I'm recovering from an addiction, or I'm recovering from some mental health issues, or even physical health issues that have debilitated us. When we think about, I'm going to reclaim all of myself, then we're like fully embraced and accountable for what shows up. So just in that practice of saying, this is totally fear-based, this is totally engaged fulfillment, where are we on the continuum of this process? And it's a great exercise because we touch in personally, but we can then also witness other people where they are on the continuum, and we can see, oh my gosh, we're all in this sort of area where very few of us are actually over here in this I'm fulfilled and fully 100 potential in my full 100% potential. Does that make sense?
It does make sense.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking about, so when you talked about where am I now? And I think that becomes a great exercise in itself, because it relates to what coaching is about for me. In my experience is that we're spending time, if we're not in this coaching realm, either in the past or in the future, and we don't even know where we are now. And so I love the idea of being able to do these exercises, being now here,
Yes.
and starting where we are.
Yes.
What is so frightening about right now for all of us as human beings, and really being here now? What is that fear? Can you speak to that?
I think that if we're in the past, we're remembering, our memories create a sense of stability and security that we got through and survived. So it's like, okay, I'm here, I've got this far. Our futurizing takes us into the future, where we also have a sense of control. I'm controlling in my mind the imagery and the outcome of what I'm anticipating. If we're here in the middle, right here in this moment, and the thinking is, if I don't have the past or the future, who am I? Who am I? What is in this moment? And so,
wow.
yeah, so it's like, and what am I? And so it gets, in a sense, existential, but also it engages our humanness, where it's like, wow, I'm scared. I'm scared, really scared, not just scared based on the past or the anxiety of anticipating the future, but who am I in this moment, and how am I being right now in this moment? Right. And I've taken on this practice to say, okay, so, and as we talked about in the past, so much of our orientation in the world about ourselves and others is, there's something wrong with me. I lack something. And so I'm constantly in my head attempting to compensate or feel guilty for this thing that I'm lacking. But when I actually look at the truth about the situation, I spend so much time thinking about what I lack. But the truth is like, wow, I'm a good person. I'm a competent person. I'm a truthful, respectful person. I'm a conscious, generous person. It's like, why do I continually engage with myself as if I'm something other than that? I lack nothing. There's nothing I need to do right now to make myself a better person. There's that place of self-acceptance as we are in this moment. Do I have inadequacies? Absolutely. Do I have faults? Absolutely. And am I a cool person and a good person right now? Yes, I am. And it's that place of, yes, I am this, and yes, I am that. It's the acceptance of all. And that's challenging for people, but if we go in the future and say, well, I'll fix this, or this is where I lack this, and those kinds of conversations actually keep us from having the empowering ourselves to be in the process of personal evolution, which can only take place here, and the evolution of our business, the evolution of our whole self, and it's our contributions in the world can only take place here. So many of the conversations coach has with, and I know this is true for you as a coach, and for me, is like the conversation says, what's happening now in this moment that has your life look the way it does? What's happening in here? What's happening in your heart that has it be what it is now in this moment? And very, 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 very powerful work. And people get to then go, oh, wow, I'm actually here now. I don't have to wait for 5 years to be myself. I can be myself now, and I can really either feel the excitement and the appreciation and the respect and the honor for who I am. We also can have the compassion for everything we've come through to be here now, and to be stepping into and being inspired to take whatever steps we take towards our evolution, the unfolding of us.
Right. So Rosie, can we just talk about, so why 2 days? How is it that so these exercises that we're going to be doing, I get it. I think I'm excited, but a lot of people are going to say, wow, you know, 1 day's a lot. Can I afford two? And why the richness of 2 day? What will come from that?
Well, if I had my way, Jane, it would be a 4 or 5 day workshop, which turns into a retreat, but
Right.
it gives people a place of immersion, immersing themselves in an environment which begins to disorient them, if you will, or dislocate them, relocate them from an old orientation in their minds, the fear-based one, to something that's more potential. And so 2 days is just the introduction to this possibility that I could actually have what I want. And even though that sounds like, oh, I already know I can have what I want, that we make it so is so different than, oh, I already know because this is a dismissing kind of thing. It's like that I make it so is the difference between a person that's going to actually walk the talk of that, or the person that's saying, oh, I'll do that tomorrow, or I'll get around to it later. And this is true in terms of either the recovery, reclaiming the deep recovery work, or in the business of who's running my business. Both of them is oriented up here in our mentalizations primarily. And
Right.
so 2 days is just going to be getting you immersed, getting your toes wet, and in the process, and hopefully whet your appetite for far more, either with personal coaching or in the next workshop that'll take us the next step in this process of personal empowerment and personal reclaiming and personal success and fulfillment, whether it's in our business or in our relationship to ourselves.
Right. Wow. Well, it sounds like 2 days is gonna scratch the surface, and yet it's gonna be a meaningful 2 days to be present and not only with yourself but many others that are ready for
Yes,
this. I'm
and
excited.
I'm excited for those people who come to the first 2 days of the business workshop, because they're gonna have have whet their appetite in the first 2 days, and then they can deepen that conversation in the second 2 days, which is the deep recovery workshop. So
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
for me, I get it's a dessert, because I get the potential of 4 days with individuals to support them and empower them to have what they want. And if not, just 2 days is we're going to have a lot of fun playing and being together in this deep recovery, deep reclaiming work,
Right. Well,
either through business or this recovery workshop.
oh, Rosie, your energy, your enthusiasm, your passion for this just excites me, and I appreciate it so much. So until next time, be well, and thank you for joining me today. Done a good job of explaining what we're going to be doing. I'm
Excellent.
excited. Take care.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.